this? What are they bringing back? Celebrity Deathmatch? Does anyone get that reference? Can we even call the Maxx a celebrity? So I've got Batman, the Maxx crossover. This is something I was eagerly anticipating. I even dug through my brother's old stack of comics and pulled out the Maxx #1 and made a video about that. I'll probably put it down in the description if I remember. This cover, they made so many covers for this issue. I mean, look at this. So many here. We have, and then we have even more over here. My comic shop, they got this one and this one. They got a lot of them. There are still a lot left, but honestly, I think both the Sam Keith covers are great. I went with this one just because I like it better. But I must say, just look at how awesome this cover is. I'm gonna put it on my wall, but I want you to keep in mind how awesome the cover is. Because the comic is, when I first read it, I thought it was a little disappointing. I just reread it now. It's less disappointing, but on my second read, that's when I allow myself to just start getting crazy with my thoughts or whatever. But I want everyone also to keep in mind that Sam Keith here, he's trying to relay information from like 25 years ago. That's a lot, because the people who are going to be reading this are people who grew up reading the Maxx, so it's people who are like mid-30s, and then people like me who have like vague recollection of seeing older siblings reading it, and then maybe they saw a show. I don't know how this happened. I assume since Batman's hanging out with the turtles, the Maxx is also down there in the sewers as well, and he's like, hey, well, what the fuck? I could be homeless in Gotham. So just everyone keep in mind, like, the Maxx is fucking crazy. It's weirder than I remember, so it's just like, I'm going to be getting the second issue for sure, so you know what, if you're not subbed, then you definitely want to just take at least a gander at issue 2 to see if it's worth popping on. Give you that sub, but let's just go ahead and get into this. We're in the Outback. Not the Australian Outback. The one in the mind. Oh god, yep. This is crazy, but you know what? We're here for the fucking ride. So we see this, and like immediately, the art is worth the price to me. Immediately you look at this and you can tell it's pencils, and I can see how a lot of people would think that that's like unfinished. But with everything being so highly polished today, I love it. I think it's a change of pace. But okay, so we see the Maxx here. He's something's wrong. Yeah, because those bones are too big. I mean, in my mind, I have an acceptable size of bones, and this is too big. That's why there are no more mammoths anymore, because we were like, ooh, God, nope, too big. And that's why we're slowly taking out the elephants. They're too large. I mean, look at you with your fucking trunks. What is that? You gotta go. I need a ivory chess set. And to be honest, as a poacher, I could just sedate them and then saw off the tusks, but honestly, I would rather just murder them. But apparently it smells of burnt earth, windy, foreboding cloud. Yeah, I mean, those clouds don't look good at all, if I have to say. Empty lands. The Outback creatures feed off an airwell carcass. Yeah, these little things, I feel like in the movie Small Soldiers there's something that looks like this. But yeah, things aren't good here. And now we see how Batman and the Maxx actually find each other, and it's because the Maxx is just being crazy at a soup line, which, if you're homeless, like, can you have a little bit more self-respect and not have soup? Because you know it's not a food. Like, why are we always giving homeless people soup? Can we give them some cereal? Can we have a cookout for some homeless people? Like, if you're homeless, you guaranteed know that's the one thing that's keeping me from being homeless, because I don't want to eat soup all the damn time. It's like, fuck, dude. But the Maxx is just generally being crazy as fuck in a soup line, because, I mean, the amount of soup. I feel like there's probably a correlation that nobody has unearthed yet about, you know, the amount of soup ingested and just the amount of, you know, craziness. Someone needs to look into it. But I am blacklisted in the soup industry because of all the shit I've been talking, so it's got to be somebody else on the outside. So I'm giving you permission. But he's going on about how the Outback is plagued with disease, feral creatures, they're starving, but then this cop here, this Jake, he's like, oh no, not with those claws. We're not. You're armed and dangerous. You gotta go. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. I thought this was Gotham. You got bitches who control plants. You got men who are obsessed with calendars, who give it as a gift. They're always talking about days. We got a dude who's just cold all the time, but I can't have my fucking big ass claws and be homeless. I thought this was America. And like, just look at how Batman is drawn here. God, I love the art so much. I love when an artist just has a style, and it's like, they just lean into that. Because, I mean, I just, like, you know what I mean? Like, I love Ethan Van Sciver's style, but it's like, I feel like Sam Keith has more style. I might get a lot of flack for that, but, you know, whatever. So Batman senses something is amiss because, like, this guy's feet are too big. Look at this face, Jesus Christ. So he follows them and they take him to Arkham. And it's like, wow, that seems a little bit overkill. But I remember in the first issue of the Maxx, wow, that trench coat really hides his mass. But in the Maxx, he's been, you know, sort of blacklisted from the local insane asylum because they're like, dude, you keep bringing him here and he keeps being crazy. We cannot have that. Or just lock him in a room for 1,000 years like they used to do back in the day. But apparently he was flagged by the CIA, which, like, what? How? This dude's too purple. This dude, he's got claws, but like, not Wolverine claws, which is the only acceptable type of claws for a human being to have. He's too weird. He's just too weird. Put him on CIA list. If he's out there in the streets, we'll lock him up. So Batman, he's just like, what? Which seems weird. I would have thought they would have met in some sort of showdown or something instead of just be like, hey, I know crazy, and that guy's crazy. I mean, Batman does know crazy. So they're talking about the Outback, and look at this doctor. I mean, look at that dude. He's absolutely just monkey-like. And if you don't believe in evolution, look at that face right there. But he's talking about how the Outback is real, and he's like, no, listen. This is where you gotta suspend all your disbelief. You gotta get out your crystals, you gotta get out your dream catchers, you gotta, like, light, like, all the candles. Just go into a store and start lighting all the candles. So, like, this is where it gets really fucking weird about what this comic is even about. So their covert surveillance of the Maxx suggests he may be a pawn of various Arkham villains who are using telepathy to sneak into this Outback dimension. Okay, what? Toward what end? Thank you, Batman. Thank you. Exactly what I was thinking, but even more eloquent. To escape Arkham, okay, and use the Outback's energies to wreak havoc in the real world. I don't really see how that's gonna work out, but you know what, Sam Keith, he's working on a crazy DSM level of creativity, and I'm not gonna stifle the man. I'm gonna buy issue 2, so let's just strap in. A short time later, we're seeing that the Maxx, he's hooked up to these wires, which is, looks like he's got, you know, classic AV instead of the HDMI outlet in his brain, but okay. And Batman is just like, what? I am very suspicious of all of these. All of this seems quite the coincidence that some random homeless man is doing this. And he's like, no. What seems to be a coincidence in the real world, they're inextricably interwoven into dream worlds and nightmares, especially those in Arkham. Yeah, I feel like you know how to get good dreams. Like, if you're in any mental institution, especially Arkham Asylum, Jesus Christ, like, you look at all those old bricks and gargoyles, and you're like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to have pleasant dreams ever. So, he puts them under, and he's like, okay, so, I don't know if this was in the Maxx comics, because I didn't read that much of them. But the Maxx can travel into other people's Outbacks, which I really like that idea, because if I got to just spend time in this guy's noodle, I don't know if I can take it. He's too wild. So he's saying, this guy's getting fed up with Batman's question. I feel like, Batman, this is like, was this a slow, like, Tuesday night in Arkham? You don't have to deal with anybody? I feel like somebody's getting their purse snatched right now, but I guess you're putting Buns of Steel Nightwing on the case. So he's like, look, I'm tired of answering your questions. Here's how this works. the sensors connecting and tracking Max's experience aren't just wired into his skull. Good thing he had those skull, outputs just ready to be locked into. There's a neural Wi-Fi sensor that allows me to tap into anyone's brainwave patterns. Oh, that technology seems dangerous. Oh, Batman. Oh, he's feeling weak. He's feeling dizzy. Don't fight it, bad breath. And now the Batman, he's in the Outback with the Maxx. This is, look at the style. Look at this. I love this. So, okay, yeah. So, they're in the Outback. Batman, he's asking questions. He's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. The Maxx, he's confused by it. He's calling Batman the Gray Man. He's like, look, all we gotta do is, we gotta find the, no wait, I'm skipping ahead. I'm sorry. So he slams into the ground. And then Batman looks at him. He's like, "Well, what's the problem here? My claw got stuck." Oh, you can just pull it out of the ground. So yeah, the Maxx, he's not so smart. Not smart at all. I feel like I missed something. Oh God, I definitely missed something. Okay, so whatever. I'll come back to it if it comes up organically. But they're in there, and he's like, "Look, Batman's hungry. He's a little famished, and I just like." Imagine Batman he eats like Charlie from Always Sunny. He eats like energy balls, or just vitamins and stuff. Like, he doesn't actually eat food. Just picture Batman trying to have a cheeseburger. It doesn't track. I don't even think Bruce Wayne would have one. So like, look, this is how crazy this world is. There are crabbits, there are air wells. And he explains what the air wells are, and then they determine, can't show everything. But they determine that this isn't his Outback. But you gotta bring up the Jungle Queen. The Jungle Queen is, of course, the social worker in the Maxx series who takes care of the Maxx in the real world. Because I guess she has a fetish for purple guys. There's not a lot she can choose from. She can choose the Maxx here. She can choose the fake Hulk from Dexter's Lab. She can choose Grape Kool-Aid Man. I feel like there's a Marvel character who's primarily purple, like he can read minds or something. His name is escaping me right now. But they're like, look, what we need to do, I guess, is just find this Jungle Queen, because Batman, he's not having a lot to work with. Now, I will say about this, like, also we get this, like, pencil look here, but I'm into it. But, Batman in this, I want to say he seems out of character, because I'm used to Batman just being, like, really strident, very, just like, even if he doesn't know what's going on, he's going to attack the situation, he's going to figure out everything. I mean, this Batman mentions, like, gathering clues, but it kind of seems like he's just floating through this comic, like, But I think that could also speak to just, like, the odd nature of everything. It's like, if he's too aggressive, he's going to freak out the, insane homeless man. So, that's my, like, one critique, how Batman kind of seems out of character, but I mean, like, he hasn't ever encountered this, so how can I really make that judgment? So they're gonna look for the Jungle Queen, and they see her fortress floating. It's this giant rock, and they decide just to go in there. Batman doesn't really want to go in there, but, there's a floating rock, and there's literally nothing on the landscape. What else are you gonna do? And they see this lady who is just in a rock with pottery? How? How did he even fit through there? I don't know. She's the queen of the depleted realms. Whatever that means. And we've got this double page spread here, how Batman, he's like, this is familiar yet strange. Her voice is hypnotic. If this is not my queen, then what is this strange land I'm trapped in? See, the Maxx is really into this queen right here. I mean, Sam Keith, he can draw the ladies, and this is the Purple Queen. She's all the clues to rescue her world are in their subconscious already. Which, oh god, that's the worst place we want stuff to be. And then suddenly, I'll skip these two next pages, but suddenly they're awakened. They're back in Arkham. And we see the Penguin, he's getting willed into the plug-in room. and they get plugged right back in. Where, and when they come to the Maxx, he starts trying to fight Batman because he's like, holy shit, I forgot who we are. A lot of stuff's going on here. We're there, we're back here. I don't know who you are. Gray man, stab, stab, stab. I mean, I got these giant claws. What, I'm not going to stab people with them? But Batman has to remind him. But then they encounter the deadly poisonous air blowfish. Now look at that. That's already a problem. Look at this. Look at this version. Even more of a problem, so fuck. And he says, so of course this thing is full of venom, and the Maxx, he's familiar. He's familiar with this. And he's like, there's one main trick other than avoiding the pointy, poisonous quills. Let me ask you, what's your main trick? How do you avoid this? How? Other than avoiding the pointy quills. What I'm trying to get out of here, how do you get out of this situation? I'm talking about you specifically. I mean, it's got suckers, it's got octopus suckers, is not a good look. I feel like, probably needs to inject the poison into you, but I feel like I don't even want to touch them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know stingrays have to actually, like, puncture you to get the venom, but I don't even really want to be around them. I'll just stick next to the manta rays and enjoy how beautiful and majestic they look and don't have to worry about having, like, a Steve Irwin death. Because, like, my death, if a stingray kills me, as far as famous stingray deaths, I'm never going to top that. So, you know, if a manta ray somehow kills me, I don't know how it would do it. It would, like, wrap its flaps around my face. Maybe stick its tail, just jam it down my throat or something. I don't know. I mean, especially if there are a lot of them, they could probably take me out. I mean, do I have air? If I don't have air, if I'm just snorkeling or something, probably win. And then I could be the most famous manta ray death. But if a stingray takes me out, I'm never going to... I won't even be, like, number 2. Or if I am number 2, the gap is going to be, like, Steve Irwin's up here. Lindsey Park's way down here. All I could think to do here in this situation... I mean, look at the Maxx. He's getting it right there. But I would just say, Batman, what are you even doing? You got gadgets? Did you not bring your gadgets here into the Outback? Like, come on, this is the worst fucking place in the real world to be. Ugh. I would just tell this thing to relax. Even though in every movie and TV show, whenever someone's losing their goddamn mind and then some other character just says, relax, it never works out. It just makes them even more crazy. So I would probably just start yelling like Serenity Now or something. So just, how do you get out of this? How do you get out of this? But, yeah, so what's the other main trick? What you gotta do is, avoid the mouth. So, you know what, it's not that bad. I skipped over a lot, like, getting through all the dialogue. Look at this cover. How can I not? Well, a lot of the dialogue in this, it's, like, so much information. It kind of felt like I was slogging through it. But I think that may be Sam Keith's style, so, I kind of wanted them to fight. But maybe they will. It's just weird, but just look at that cover. It's got a lot of character. It got like 2 characters on it. You could probably put another character right there, but that might be too much. Look at these teeth. Pretty white for a homeless man.